Yep.
I'd like to call order this meeting of Penn Township Board of Supervisors, Tuesday, October the 15th, 2015, 4 p.m. We will stand for a pledge of allegiance and a moment of silence. Aye.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated.
See? Scoot it over. I'm going to update you real quick. And it's visitors.
Yeah.
Did Franklin call you? No.
It's Mr. Fickle first. Jim?
No,
Stanley?
no.
Bob?
No, thank you. We do that.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, old business?
Newsletter.
Yes.
Forgot to ask you last time if I can be paid.
Okay. What is the wish of the board paying for the newsletter?
I make the motion that we go ahead and pay Helen for the newsletter.
Okay, motion made. Do I hear a second?
I second the motion.
Motion second. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye. Ayes have it, so ordered.
Okay, there's a gentleman supposed to be coming up here for the split system. He wants to give a presentation to you. He called, he said he might be a couple minutes late. Can we go on to the internet first? We've been talking to Blue Ridge, again, also getting our free internet. Their version is we get one connection for the building, and then you would have to put a router in that would split it off for the police, for the authority, and for us, which is okay for me and the authority, but the police need their own line.
Secure line, yeah.
And the people...
They just don't get it. They keep saying, no, you each have your own, but it's not really, it's split. You know, so.
Yeah.
But we're talking to an individual that sells incense full-time and does it part-time, so. But he just doesn't seem to get on the right page. I'd like to give maybe Cohen a call, Cohen Group, and have them contact them and settle it one way or another. I don't know if they charge us, they may not, they may just say, look, good or get on the line. And we're fine. I mean, if they're gonna do it that way, it's each building, and I'd like to also get the internet down at the garages too. So we can set up, there could be a computer down there too, that you can send either work orders or Alan can send stuff back and forth too, and they can read it down there too, so. And that way would be part of the deal anyway, they're required to give us internet at any location.
You're putting it in for the work crew?
Well, yeah, something for them down there.
Somebody knows how to run them.
That's good.
Yeah, there's a good one there.
That's a fact.
So the people we've been billing is the business office. We haven't been dealing with anybody that we negotiated the contract with.
Yeah,
Correct.
I think the head honchos did all the contracts and stuff with Blue Ridge, and then right now there's a representative for Blue Ridge. Like I said, his full-time job is selling incense, and he calls when he gets a chance.
Okay. So
Well, that's what we had, go ahead, sir.
No, go ahead, no, it's just.
That's what we had to do before when they weren't moving anything, We had to get them to contact them. So far, it hasn't cost us nothing.
So far they've been taking care of it.
They've been taking care of it, so I would make a motion that we make that call to Cohen out there,
Yes.
explain to them the
I saw your little
situation,
marks.
see whether they can resolve it or whether we can get what's needed.
I second that
And the
motion.
motion made with a second, all those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. So
There you go. Do you want to start looking at the split systems or not?
Yeah, you had the bid there before you had the split system.
Yeah, we have three companies. Earth Energies gave us two bids, one that will go apples and apples, and one what they think we need. That's in there.
Got it, thank you.
We get discounts from Earth Energy and Mahoney's for multi-system. Comfort Tech didn't put anything in their bid on that. If you wanted to go with Earth Energy's second option, there's also a $750 rebate we can get back. Oh, no, that's right. Yeah, they want to mount it on the wall instead of the roof.
And I thought one of the objectives was trying to get away from the roof, correct?
No, actually, the others are all mounted on the roof.
Okay.
It's just that he likes wall mounted, that's what the bid says, the quote says, wall mounted. Which, we're talking that three of them on that side and one on this side. So they're not over by the basketball courts.
And also, with his second option, he wants to reduce the BTUs.
Yes,
And I would highly recommend you don't drop that BTUs in the big room over there, especially with the heat pump system, because the recovery's slow. They work efficiently and whatnot, but to drop that down for the size that he's asking over there, 6,000 BTU, that's a lot of BTUs to lose in that big room.
yeah, he's asking from 18 down to 15s. And also in the police station, from 15 to 12.
Mhm.
Room 4 he agrees with.
What's that?
Room 4 he agrees with.
Yeah, yeah. I don't understand that.
Well, the police station has the evidence room as a bump out. Really no lights, no windows coming in there.
Mm-hmm,
I guess that would be the difference.
mm-hmm.
Now you can see Mahoney and Comfort Tech both did 15,000 BTUs on the police station, room 4, and 18 on the large conference room. When Robert said he's coming up, he just was going to be a couple minutes late, but.
Okay. What's the wish of the board? Do you want to table till the gentleman gets here, makes his presentation, or do you want to kick it around and resolve it?
Well, I'd like to table it until the gentleman gets here. If he gets here, then we at least have an opportunity to talk to him. If he doesn't show up, we can make a decision at the end.
Yep.
Okay?
Making that a motion?
Yes.
I second the motion.
Motion made with second, all those in favor, consent by saying aye, table.
This is for you to look at to see. Okay. That's all I had.
Okay. Okay, we have for you for the review of the budget. Anybody want to lead off and protect?
There's one thing I want to ask you guys about, and it won't really affect a number in here, but it's something we'd have to consider. Signs. When signs are changing the face, I've been charging with, on Lenny's recommendation, like they were getting a brand new sign, instead of just the refacing of the sign. Because when they reface, it's the same size. Do we want to change that cost to a flat-out cost just for the refacing of a sign? Or do we want to just keep charging them? I mean, 25 square feet and below is $25. 26 to 50 is $50, and then it keeps going up in 25 increments depending on the size of the sign. McGuire's, that for their little pole sign, paid $300. Because they're just changing the sign face a little bit. I just didn't know if that was considered excessive or not.
Do I get a vote?
You didn't cost $300.
$100 though.
I know.
And where's that falling underneath that one?
That would fall underneath sign, coming in sign, 362, 411 on the revenue. That,
Sign permit, yeah.
yeah. We never know what, well, that could tell you right there. We've had 300. Did that, I don't know if that went in there or not. You're here. That includes the one Lee paid, and those are a couple other new signs. There's one sign that we charged this PRS, the physical therapy place. They changed their sign. I think that was $25. That fell into the $25 rate. It's just, do we want to leave it like that, or do we want to discount it basically?
Does anybody complain about the price besides him?
No, no one has complained about it yet, other than Lee.
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
When I add more to that sign, not physically length or size wise.
You mean the little insert things?
Yeah.
No. No, because that's already figured in. And they're made to be, it's just like over at the business campus, those little slide-ins, they're not made for that. When they put the whole sign up is when you paid for that. Because those are made to be temporary.
Okay.
See,
Clear as mud, huh, Lee?
What's that?
Clear as mud.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what, the zoning officer controls that, so, whether they need a permit or not.
it doesn't matter if you have 5 businesses or 100 businesses. as long as-
No, because the sign has already been paid for when it went up, and those little slide-ins are made to be temporary, just like Cove Center are. They've had them in and out. Now, when they go put it on the building, that's a different thing.
But because you said McGuire, was it McGuire's you said?
Yeah, McGuire's Ford,
They updated a sign.
and
had
so
to go
that's
for-
technically changing the face of the sign, so they had to have a permit.
And
Just,
how often do they do that?
oh, not very often.
Yeah.
But like Lee did it with the Eagles Nest sign. Anytime a new business comes into a place, if there's a sign already there, they'll update the sign,
Correct. And then you charge a fee to do that.
depending on the size of the sign, yes. That's how it works right now.
Well, it's either a matter of leaving the fee schedule in place.
Or if you wish to change it.
Wish to change it.
Yeah.
You don't have a copy of the fee schedule? You kind of just quoted it, but
Well, yeah, I don't have it right here, it's over in the office.
and that's something that usually gets done at the reorganization.
Yes, but I would need to know that, to do that, to do the draft for the reorganizational meeting. And I don't think that changes my budget here, let me think here. No, because I never know what we're going to get, so we don't put a whole lot of incoming money in.
probably say, let's just leave it as it is for now and wait for the reorganizational meeting, you know, to discuss the fee schedules then.
Okay,
What do you gentlemen think?
That's fine with me. I know that the fee schedules in the past have been taken a look at as to cover some of the fee schedules we got out there, barely cover our administrative costs in here.
yes.
And that's where you go backwards if you don't have them in place.
Correct.
I don't think there's anything out there excessive, some of them spend an awful lot of time.
Yeah.
That's the basis of them, I have no problem with that,
Okay.
okay?
Do we need that in the form of a motion? or just a
No,
decision?
no.
Okay.
He's here.
Okay. Understand you have something you'd like to talk to the board about?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I submitted a quote for the mini split systems in the building. And I just want to clarify, did you talk over those yet, the different quotes that were submitted?
Mm-hmm, a little bit.
And who's with, sir?
I'm with Earth Energy Innovations from Mifflintown. So I took the measurements of the different rooms. First of all, I'm a contractor with Fujitsu. We have an elite contractor status, which gives a 12-year warranty on the systems. And then also there's rebates available for some of the systems that are proposed, as well as the fact that we register every system we install for the warranty period. So the reason I wanted to stop in and go over a couple things, the recommended proposal that I have varies slightly from the other systems that were proposed, and I want to clarify why that was. The reason is every system that we look at to size, we run the load calculations, and Fujitsu has their own software program to put the room size, windows and dimensions and everything, and then that tells us the appropriate load calculations and system size that we need. So when I ran those load calculations, 3 of the rooms could use the 15 RLS3, which is a high efficiency series, and the patrol office could use a 12 RLS3, which is a high efficiency series, but it's slightly smaller than the one that was proposed. And so I just want to clarify why those numbers were different than the other, I guess the other quotes that were received, and also to answer any questions that there may be.
When you say other quotes received, what do you mean?
You said you had received a couple other quotes for
Ye-
the...
Well, yes, I received one after you, and
Okay,
the one I got for the budget from last year, yes.
okay.
I see here that in, I guess it's room 4, control room.
Room
Yes.
4 is the one in the hall on the left hand, the patrol room is the part-timers work.
Is that the room that we went from 18 to 15?
No.
No?
No, 18 to 15, I believe is the
Large room.
large room,
Large
large
conference
conference room.
Large
Okay.
conference room.
Okay.
So basically what happens if you can put a system in that's larger than what you need, but you lose efficiency and you also lose capacity. The RLS3 series operates to -5 degrees. The 18,000 BTU series operates to 5 degrees. So basically when you get below that, the system would ice up and have potential to not work properly, whereas the RLS3 series would function at a -5 degree temperature. So then, when we size the systems, they're sized to have the BTU output that you need at -5 degrees for that given room. Plus the fact that with the 15 RLS3, it operates more efficiently than the 18,000 BTU system. So I just want to clarify why we chose the systems that we chose to put on the quote, and if there would be any questions to answer those questions.
On your first option for the large conference room, you have 2 units, but you don't specify which unit. Is that also the 15 RLS3, 2 of those units? There's no unit designated for the large conference room in option 1.
Sorry, it's down under where it says no rebates available for the system, it's down a little bit lower. That's the 18 RLB series.
Yeah,
Down a little bit lower in which column, sir?
It's
page 2.
page 2 would be sentence 4, line 4.
It says wall-mounted medium sear. Find it. That's 18,000.
Thank you.
So with the recommended option, your upfront cost is a few $100s cheaper, plus you get the rebates available from Fujitsu, as long as the system would be installed by the end of 2015. After rebates, it would be $11,920 with the recommended option.
So the total price is with the rebates and the discounts, or?
Total price is with our company discounts, the $12,670,
Yes,
and then the additional rebates would be coming back from Fujitsu,
okay.
and that is on page
And that's the 750.
Yes.
Page 3, yes. So that would be paid to the township by Fujitsu, usually within a month after the systems are installed.
Yeah, and option 1 doesn't have a rebate.
And your recommendation for that room, what we had and what you're saying, you're going with the lower one because it was an overkill if we put more.
Correct.
And it wouldn't operate at a lower temperature, like, first one.
For the 18.
It's 5 above, and the other one would go 5 below.
Yes, sir. So your long-term operating cost would be much lower because the RLS 3 series is more efficient, and you're using a smaller unit, which has a higher efficiency rating as well.
Why wouldn't there be a $750 rebate for the upper units if they were 18,000?
It's a manufacturer rebate for the specific RLS 3 series.
Okay. For 15,000, but not for an 18,000.
Correct.
Okay. But if we went with the first option, they're saying 15,000 for the police station in room 4. Is the rebate for the 15,000 or for the 12,000?
There's a 12, the 12 and the 15 are in the RLS 3 series. It's the RLS 3 series that has the rebate available.
And the 15 and 18 are not?
The 18 is not.
18 is not. But still.
So you said that the rebates are for the RLS 3 series?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And there are 2 of those units in the first option, but no rebate for those 2 units? They're RLS 3?
Yes, on page 3 of the, where it says job name as proposed, it has total Fujitsu rebates for these 2 eligible systems is 400.
Okay, that's my fault then.
So you would still, for 2 of the systems, you would get rebates on that one.
Okay.
On the, as we recommend it, you would have rebates on all 4 systems.
Okay, thank you.
See, I looked on page 2 of that, that said no rebates available for this system, and not further.
I'm sorry, that was for that item.
Yeah. No, I just didn't read further, unless I saw that.
So again, just for clarification, the 12,670 does not include the 2,200 and the 750?
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
The,
Option 2 has a 750 rebate. Option 1 has a 400 rebate, as you pointed out just now.
right, And the rebates are completely separate from the contract price. Those are from the manufacturer directly to the customer.
Okay, so we'll get so that price does not reflect the 750?
Correct.
No.
So that, we'll get a check in the mail for that?
Yes, sir.
Get down, took a look at our electrical system, make sure we got adequate down there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion then that we would accept the option 2 from Earth Energy Innovations for the police station room 4 large room conference, totaling the price of $12,670.00, with knowing that there would be a $750 rebate directly from the manufacturer. So with that total cost of the project, $11,920.
The numbers sound fine. I will say this, I was in the heating business for 38 years before I retired. Familiar with heat pumps and what you have out there in the world. Matter of fact, I put one of the first ones in years ago when there was never even many heard around here. I do question highly on the big room over there that you don't go small on those units. The board wants that, that's fine. I just wanted a matter of record. And you never downsize with a lot of glass and not over there, and hope that 15,000 by golly provides what you need when you want it. These are slow recovery. These rooms will not be running at all times. They will be turned on prior to meetings and whatnot. It takes a long time to bring them up. I hope that in the cold weather, that that works out. We'd like to know that he has that's my opinion on the system.
Can you explain that with, I mean, did you factor in the windows, factor in that the rooms aren't used all the time? Thank you for bringing that to our attention, that they're not consistently running, they're as needed.
Yes, sir.
Was that factored in?
Yes, sir. I have the load calculations that I processed here as well. And
And I
Fujitsu has their own load software for their systems, and that's all we use when we run the load calculations. So it takes the room measurements, the ceiling height, the windows and doors, glass area, of course, and occupancy. So the occupancy affects the cooling load. So anytime we size a system, even if it's one room, we use a load calculator, and that's where we came up with our numbers for that.
Yeah. Past experiences told me that when we bid for the company that I worked, they brought people out to do BQ ratings, take a look at them, decide what it needed. Heating and cooling, okay? So there's always a difference in price on a smaller unit. But when it didn't heat proper, it didn't cool proper, it all come bouncing back by golly on that. And I never saw a heat factor taken in any building that there was two people ever come up with the same. Rarely. That's my honest opinion, and I'm sure you're well aware of that.
Yes, sir.
One guy's gonna see it one way, another guy's gonna see it another way. So, those are my comments in regard to this,
Okay.
Brian.
Yeah.
We have a motion?
Yes.
I'll second the motion.
Okay? Motion been made with a second. All those in favor, give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, with a concern, however.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
I'll get in contact with you to set up a date and everything.
Okay, now do we go to the budget?
Okay, back to budget.
Okay, any other questions regarding the budget?
The only thing I updated was the, as of amount been paid out or received to today.
I have a couple questions on some of the lines in the general fund expenditures.
Okay.
Page 1, association dues and workshops.
Yes.
We budgeted 2,000 for 15, we spent 2,018, we're proposing to budget 4,000 next year.
That is for PSATs, the county, and any other, that's the association dues and workshops. That should be, let me make sure here.
What's the account number?
That's for PSATs,
01.402.42.
PSATs, Perry County Association Township, and training for non-police personnel. If you got to pay to go to a training session or something.
Okay.
Luckily, they've been doing more webinars, so it's cheaper, but
What was that line item number again?
402.42 is the third one down. To give you an idea, there was no extra training done this year.
Okay.
Um,
I'm not
No, I'm
not
just
saying it's
explaining
wrong,
why.
it's, you know,
I'm just telling you why I upped it.
Okay,
It's because there was no extra training done at all this year.
okay.
And unfortunately, I'm gonna have to do training for the BCO next year to keep my certification. So it's gonna be
Okay.
a little more. I'll do as much as I can on webinars, which are like $20 each. But, and I do them over lunch.
Down at line 01.405.24.
Two for computer systems. Yes,
Is
I
that
knew
because
that.
that system that you, I saw it named in here someplace?
What's it called here?
Is that why?
Municipal Logic, yes, it's that and a webpage. That webpage you looked at. I was advised to put it in and for discussion if nothing else.
What was that number again?
405.32. Wait, no, I'm sorry, 405.24.
Would you say, how, a new computer system or?
It would be a system that would, how to explain this best? It would be able to consolidate all documentation by parcel number. It would come with a GIS, I know I've got that over here. I do this now, but it's in this file and this file, and I have one set of files I've made parcel numbers, and building permits would be in it and all that. Let's see. I know what's in here. It would.
So it's actually new software then?
It's a new software. It's property management, mapping, reporting, what all, come on, I know what's in here. The administrative mode does the ability to code all this other stuff. The mapping module would take the GIS from the county and incorporate it. You have to take the communication mode, which is basically documents, calendars for everybody if we needed it. We don't need that part, but we can't get rid of that part with the basic. Edit documents, you could type all the documents that are scanned into the system. You could type Stanley Must have Ball, and everything about you would come up.
Do we have that much time to read it?
Or that big of a system?
$21,000 worth of compute equipment?
Well, that one would be,
That's an awful lot of compute.
yes, it is. That would actually be 13,000 between, the basic is 10,000.
Okay,
If we did this, the only other module I would want would be the permit module, which you could keep track of all the permits and all that with it. Zoning, building, on all that, and that's another 1,500. The other money is the webpage that we had that special meeting on if you wished it. And other computer, if we have to replace something, or,
you went and got prices on this?
I got prices way back.
Way back when?
Mm-hmm,
Okay, why?
yeah. Had to know the price.
So the Munologic program is 15,930.
That's what it would,
Be,
for the basic and the permit program. I was asked to check this out, Henry, I checked it out.
So the permit program is a separate program from the Munologic, or is it a module?
It's a
within it?
module for the program,
So you have a base program that you can build upon, so.
with other types of
So,
modules.
so we're gonna build one or two modules to it, and then in the future, we have the base to be able, to, as the township grows, be able to add other modules down the road.
Yes,
To be able to support, and actually to consolidate these things and make researching and pulling up the data a
Yes.
whole lot easier and quicker.
yeah.
So
That,
it's bringing the township into the 21st century.
now that money is, I'm sorry, 3,500 for the modules. 13,500. That's if we buy it,
Oh, wait a minute, 3,500 or 13,500?
13,500, I'm sorry, mispronounced. If we want to rent it, the core system is $390 and the modules are $130. That will also, and a 3-year commitment would be involved, required, and that's not counting the maintenance, which we don't know what the maintenance cost would be until they told us, well, depending on what we got. No. It was put in the budget for discussion only.
Have you checked with any of the grant organizations to see if there's any grant money out there that would help fund this?
Not yet. It was gonna be a yes or no first. Or to check into something or,
Because I noticed that there's a lot of grant money coming out for next year. You have to apply with for now.
mm-hmm,
Let me take a look at something here. Would that be something that Ed? Is
Ed,
it-
Bohe or something like
Yeah,
that?
Boedo.
Yeah,
Also, I would contact Senator Teplitz as a staff member that works, a clerk that works in his office, actually deals directly with grants.
Okay.
And very educated in the grant process.
Mhm.
So I would even check with Bishop Teplitz's office. Because unfortunately, I mean, we have liquid fuels money that will buy vehicles if we budget, and what Mr. Holman has done over the years. Police department, they have ways to raise revenue to purchase vehicles, but unfortunately, there's no other way to raise revenue except for putting it into the budget and hopefully getting grant money.
we'd have to put it in the budget, then subject to getting grant money to pay for it?
yeah, you can say that. I mean, But you know, Henry, you don't have to spend all the money you budget.
I understand that, you can't. Or you're, well, you can every year, you're broke
No,
if you
you-
do. If every
yeah.
line item's spent, you don't
Well,
have
and I
nothing.
think
Yeah.
organizational wise, time wise, for us to update these systems would be more time efficient. Once we start putting the data in as
Yes.
we go.
Yes,
So that would be putting any current data in as we access it, it would get updated.
yes,
Now, going downstairs to the old files, that would be something that would be done. If you had to go down there and pull that, then we would update it at that point into the new system, integrate it into the system.
yes, that could be
So-
done.
So would it be running efficiently 100% from the get-go? No. It may take us a year to build a good base for that. Is that correct, ladies?
Yes, I would say that's a correct statement.
Okay, and in the past, I have never purchased a vehicle out of liquid fuels. I want that to be clear.
Well, I mean, out of the money that you saved, you were able to purchase, not out of, what I'm saying, you use liquid fuels for other projects, which made money available to
No, I
the
haven't. Paving roads only, liquid fuels.
No, okay. The money that you save by using liquid fuels saved money elsewhere to be able to buy vehicles, is that correct? I'm not bad-mouthing, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you were creative in ways to be able to purchase vehicles. The police department's the same way. Unfortunately, when it comes to the office and come to updating the systems in the office to run it more efficiently, unfortunately, we have to put it in the budget, you know. We didn't talk about grant money at the time, you know, but there very well could be grant money out there, you know.
Okay, anything else?
Did you want me to keep in for the webpage and see if grant money with that too?
Well, I think we should pursue as much of the grant opportunity as possible.
You know, to be able to have that information whether the grants are ready by
I should have that by the end of the month.
10 township meeting.
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's phone calls. Next.
On item 01.419.231,
3-1, okay, electricity, yes.
no, vehicle fuel, police, Duncannon Borough.
Oh. Vehicle fuel, oh,
419.231.
Oh, I'm sorry. 419. Yeah, that's police.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We budgeted 9,500 this year, we spent 7426 so far, we're budgeting 5,500 next year. Is there a reason for that drop?
That's his answer.
What's that, I'm sorry? Which one?
Your vehicle fuel for under Duncannon.
Oh, for the fuel.
Yes.
It was 419.
Yeah, right now, we're doing about.
Dot
15
231, sorry.
We're doing about 15 gallons a day. And about 2,800 gallons. That should be enough for us, right?
Well, understand that's half of what they're allocating. That's not just the Duncannon portion. There's another 5,500 for our portion.
5,500 on the
I'm only
Duncan, so-
comparing it to the previous years
Okay.
and this year, and just making sure that
Okay.
it's gonna cover us for next year.
Yep.
Okay.
Looks like we're, yeah.
Yeah. And help go into the tanker, the thing down there.
Right, yeah. They buy it off CoStarz.
Mm-hmm.
Item 421.30.
Humane Society, yes. People haven't been bringing in cats and dogs.
Okay, that's why we spent so little?
Yes,
Yeah, we've
Okay.
been pretty good at locating the owners of a lot of the dogs, and a lot of people have been actually taking them home too.
Okay,
Adopt them out.
yeah, that's why I dropped it down to 2,500, still keeping the police at 15, but the rest would be on our side.
okay, thank you. The budgeted amount for the newsletter expense, 451.34.
Yes. That's, if, the more people we get, the more it's gonna cost for postage. So it's basically an increase to cover postage,
Okay,
which that's over there for you to sign, Henry, in your yellow folder, the
What's that?
postage.
I actually missed that answer with all the deep in there. Is that,
The more
That
people, we
postage?
yeah, mostly,
4,500?
yeah.
okay.
That's postage and our, can we put the permit number under that too? Yeah, that's the permit number we have,
Right.
postage, and the payment. And the printing. Okay. I need that. I gotta make that one copy. Let's go for that, have we? Yeah. Oh, we did for the newsletter? Yeah, okay. I know we did for the envelopes. Okay. Okay.
I'd like to get together with you then on the explanations.
Pardon?
I'd like to get together with you after the meeting on these explanations,
Okay,
all right?
yeah.
What did you say, Brian?
He's gonna get with me about the explanations later. Every code, every line number, I have an explanation written in for them, for what it's for. He wants to get with me later for that.
Okay. Maybe the public will let you know the same answer. And I believe the public, well, I mean, if you don't understand it, how are we gonna understand it? And second of all, the public's at a disadvantage. Y'all were talking about what you spent so far and what the budget was last year. We're sitting here with the proposed for 216. We're at a disadvantage in the audience. We can't see what you've already spent or what was proposed for last year. I don't think that's fair.
The main reason I wanted to get together with Helen on the explanations is because there were various typos and formatting questions, not substantial.
Okay, thank you. And then, when's the public allowed to ask questions today? After the supervisor? Just ask them.
That's them.
What's that, Stanley?
He wants to know when he can ask questions.
When's the public allowed to speak after y'all are done now? After supervisors ask other questions?
Yeah, we'll entertain what,
Okay.
okay?
Thank you.
That's what this is there for.
He wants to know now or afterward, you guys are done.
Okay.
Which one?
Well, you ask now.
Should we shut up now and just wait till y'all are done?
Oh, if you got a question, you want to ask these line items as we go ahead.
Oh, okay. Number 354.150.
Oh, revenue, okay.
That's under the revenue.
Yep, What number?
354.150,
Okay,
grant revenue for the police.
yes.
It says grant revenue, I thought that money went just in and out as far as grants go. How does that become a revenue
Because it's coming in as a revenue and it goes out as an expense.
on the payroll?
Yes, payroll, what else? Grant revenue, police. That is non-wage. That is, what is that? Grant revenue, non-wage. That would be for the, like the vest, the bulletproof vest and things like, which would be a bill that goes out. Because we get the money from the grant, we pay the bill. And basically machinery and supplies, wouldn't it be?
Under expenses on 405.32,
Communications.
communications.
Okay, that is the building, okay? This is under what I call my part of the budget. That's telephones, the internet, the internet bill, PA1 calls. We don't get those cheap. Well, we could get them cheap, but we have to pay for them.
Right.
It also covers the FCC fee for the radio license renewal for 10
Yes,
years.
yeah. And that is every 10 or 15 years. I
Says
can't-
10 years in
yeah,
the explanation.
Yeah. Which is, I believe it's a couple hundred, I have to look. And, let's see, communications. That
That's
should be
okay.
4,532.
Just asking.
Yeah, that's for PA1 call for services for the office and garage, FCC, telephone, email, which is, the telephone's both the local and the long distance. And considering we have 4 phones, basically with the garage and all that. No, your phone down there.
I have no phone. The telephone.
The
down there,
telephone.
Yeah, there's a line,
Yeah.
line down there, yeah.
Yeah, that's under the garage, is that going, under his or mine? The garage landline.
Goes under ours.
Okay, that's, the landline is ours. The cell phones are yours. It adds up.
Number 410.24.
2441024. That's on page 2.
ACC, police department,
Yeah,
is that,
What's the number again, please, Stanley?
410.24.
Thank you.
that's yours.
That's it, what? It's for our community, just, you know, like.
That's your virus
cars
protection,
and everything,
Maintenance,
alert care services, which is a program they use. Service for the
Server.
for the cars, car computers, mouse readers, repairs, and reporting programs.
okay.
All that would fall under that one.
Yeah, that's all one big jumble, all the computers.
410.337,
3.
vehicle purchase for the police department.
Yes,
Okay, it says 0. If I remember in prior meetings, just regular meetings, that you guys are putting so much back a year to purchase vehicles.
they have done that.
Yeah.
They just did not put anything in the budget for 2016.
I know you were putting so much.
Yeah,
We purchased
yes.
new vehicles this year.
Right.
Well, he's asking why there's 0 on the budget for
But
next
we
year.
didn't, we didn't put anything.
Because the
in.
money's in
Nothing
capital
this year.
reserve.
No, they haven't, for 2015 it is. The money they've already put back is over in capital reserve right now, sitting.
Uh, 410.41.
Judgments and damages.
Damages for the police department, 1,500.
Yeah, it stays the same as what we had for last year.
What's judging from damages? What does that mean?
That's if there's any, any legal fees or anything like that, but yeah, has to be paid.
Let's see. Expense from testing or damage to township property by a citizen that has not been convicted of a crime. That was Cliff put in the explanations.
415.22,
Yes,
emergency management expense.
that is if we have a emergency and we have to expend funds, have to pay for water to be trucked in. That is where that is. We put that in as a cushion, so we have it if we need it, and hope we don't.
Got that right? That'd be like Job Johnnies and.
Yes, yes. Anything we would have to pay under the emergency management,
Supplying a building to maintain for a couple of days, that kind of.
if we have to, yeah.
If you have to pay for it, yeah, or water if we didn't get it done.
Water, ice,
But that money would be recovered through FEMA or PEMA.
yes, yes, but we have to
But
have, we have to pay it out.
Pay it out, correct. Yeah, they're not gonna wait 6 months. The waste company's not gonna wait 6 months for us to pay them. They're gonna want their money within 30 days.
No.
Or 60 days. FEMA could take 6 months to 8 months to get money returned, or longer.
At least.
Actually, we've had pretty good return on them.
Real quick for
Real
us.
quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
Yeah.
time was right there in Hollis, that was quick.
That was
Well, as long as we don't face
not
anything
even a
like South
month,
Carolina.
not even a month.
Yeah, Mrs. Kingston down here, the time she applied for the sewer thing over there, she got it real quick.
Mm-hmm,
For- It was quick, I couldn't believe it.
yeah. Even that one snow emergency, they did it. It
Yeah.
was within a month and a half, something like that.
Within nothing happened.
Wow.
Once you get the paperwork in,
Filled the paperwork out right away.
yeah.
And got it.
And make sure you have-
It has to be documented right, and they don't
Have-
question.
Yeah,
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, 419.41,
okay, that, when the police department first started the contract, that first year, they were paying a certain much wage, and there was a difference between what they were offering under the contract and what our wage was. And we had to have a category to document where that extra difference was. That's that category. Next year it gets to disappear.
I think you said .41.
I think you said .41 judges.
Oh, I'm
Correct,
sorry.
regiments.
Next page.
Yeah, that's.
The difference but with township police office. Yeah,
That's the borough sheriff.
Okay.
yeah.
Judgments of
It says it's
No, no,
DB, so-
419,
Yeah, all the
141.
one, all the,
Anything's DB.
419.
well, all the
I
one
think it
nines are
said .41.
the borough and 10s are us.
Oh,
Next
okay.
page.
And
No,
they're exactly the same.
419, 141.
No. Was your question
next
on
page.
419.41, Stanley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, the title,
Just on the
Judgment and
next page.
Damages?
Oh, I'm
please.
sorry.
Next
Okay.
page.
Okay, I'm on the wrong one, I'm sorry. Well, that's the same thing as under the township
Except for
portion.
insurances, ours is 486 series and the boroughs is 420 series.
19s, 419s,
Yeah, right. 420.
only two. 419.
Hmm?
419, except for the couple of 420s.
439.376, garage improvement highway.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's been in there every year since I've been coming to budget meetings. I don't.
What was the number again, Stanley?
439.376,
Yeah,
page 3, last one.
it's in there every year. Never seen any improvements and just wonder why it's in there every year.
Because improvements haven't been done.
Well, I understand that, but it's almost like a falsehood.
Well, Stanley, all these numbers, in one sense or others, you guys are gonna take a look at. If there isn't a cushion like that, if you only spend 10,000, somewhere along the line, your capital reserves, your CDs and stuff are all in these line items. They're in there. That's what I said. If you spend every one of these in here, you spent your CDs, you spent your capital reserves, you spent everything that's in there. And so some of these, and Helen will tell you that's the truth.
Yes.
These numbers on some of them, they're to balance the budget, those excess numbers in there. Yes, the purpose of that out there was where it was dug out on the far side of the shed out there to put that in and to put a lean-to roof out over, which I started and have the plans and had the trusses for it out there. But being involved with so many other things, we didn't get to do it. But they're still needed, and I hope that they get done. And so that other building out there for a larger stockpile for that is to be done. It's a matter of finding the time out here with what you try to get done out here to get it done. If the weather isn't like it was last year, we spent a lot of time on that in the wintertime taking care of that. Did I ever think that the tin and stuff for the roof and all the material laying out there would not have that aluminum replaced? It's all bought, laying out there. That's part of that garage improvement out there that needs to be done. It's laying in the shed. Now, if before the end of the year, we don't get hit with this snow, we're soon coming out of not being able to tar and chip. Then I got a couple other small projects on the side of the road guardrail to go up out here, coming on the 26th. I hope to get on that roof before I get out of office. And some of that money will be spent. That's the reason why that's there, Stanley.
Okay, I know every year. it's
Yeah, and that's why it's there.
3, 4, 5, whatever years I've been coming.
And that's what you try to do. You try to have a line item for it out there. Evidently, you're not gonna spend a full 25,000 because it's no different than you put it in there projected, and if they wanna go to the outside and contract it out, you're gonna spend that 25,000, believe me. If they want to get it done. But it's a matter of trying to do it in-house, which weighs a lot cheaper on the still than otherwise.
Okay, I'm done. I'll shut
Okay?
down.
Next one.
Yes, Bob?
Yeah, on the revenue, your 31051 local services tax, $60,000. Where did that come from?
That's that $52 a year that people are paying. That's where that comes from. It's that, what, they changed their name on
It
it.
used to be occupational privilege.
Yeah,
privilege tax.
No, no, no,
Is it
no,
BT?
no.
That's what it was.
No,
Ellis.
That's LST? and-
LST used to be called the EMS tax.
Right.
And then they changed the name to the local services tax.
LST used to be
Okay, I
the
remember that.
$52 a year, which is now
Then
$1 a
under
week.
your
Just a
expenses,
different name.
Yeah.
you have a 40242, your dues, association dues and all. And I said in the meeting, here, everything going to PSAT, but then I didn't see anything for PSAT, so I assume PSAT's part of the association.
Yes.
Okay. Because I was looking to see what they were getting out of it every year, but I didn't find PSAT. All right, I thank you.
Don't want to know what the dues are.
Where is the revenue income from the contracts the police have? Where does that show?
That is under revenues, let me find it here. Oh, 350.00.
Yeah, but when they contract
With Duncannon.
pardon?
With
No, no.
Duncannon Borough?
No, we talked about it at the last meeting.
Oh, you mean that, okay, that
About
is,
revenue when they,
yeah, that's 362.100. The police special services.
Oh, they just-
so you don't anticipate anything this year?
We don't have any contracts or anything, I mean, that's sort of like, you know, it goes as it comes and goes.
You don't do the school anymore?
Yes, we do, actually, the next 2 games, we just did the last game, and we do the next 2 games, so that'll be 3 games this year. We did more last year because they had some problems. And they wanted us there for the wrestling too last year, I believe it was.
And that's a charge, right?
Yes, it is, yeah.
And 411.54,
411, that's under expenditures. 411.54. Fire company donations?
if Burdick's problem would happen to get resolved, would there be donation to them? would this be split between the two companies? Is there any consideration for that?
That's their question.
I'm sorry, what was that, what was the question?
Under fire company's donations. If Perdix comes back, would they get the same amount, would it be split?
If that got resolved, I'm
Yeah.
not saying, I don't know where you stand with that.
And what line item was that again, I'm sorry?
That is 41154, second page, middle. Right now, I have 65,000 in.
I was just curious, whether you would split that amount between the two. Maybe it won't even happen, I don't know. I would hope.
Well, without knowing, I guess we're still waiting for the fire department to respond, Mr. Holman?
I've never heard anything back.
You haven't heard anything back?
No,
Okay.
never heard anything back.
So without having a response, I guess we don't know where that's going, so. I don't believe in crystal balls, so, and the 8-ball's not accurate, so. I guess unfortunately, we'll have to face that, not knowing uncertainty. At that time, we'll have to face that decision at that time, I would assume.
Well, it could only be half a year, it could be the last quarter, if it gets resolved. I'm
Right.
just wondering if there's any consideration being made if it does happen.
Since I'm not gonna be here, I can't hardly answer it.
Might happen next week, you never know.
What's that?
It might happen next week, you never know.
Then it would be this year's budget.
No, that's true. Good point, Brian. Good point.
Without having any surety on the resolution of this, I would hope it would be optimistic, but I'm going to say, if you would agree with me, Brian, it's something we'll have to face at that time if it happens. Or do we try to project something now?
And you wouldn't know what the resolution would be.
Exactly.
So you wouldn't know how much or how little or whatever.
Well, I will comment on one thing. If it's an equal amount of money as that, fellas, you're into your first CD being used without raising taxes. Guaranteed. You're into it.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. If there's gonna be an equal contribution, and you wanna make provisions for it, you can know at the end of the year, you better be prepared for it, because there's not gonna be no carryover money without getting into your CDs or your reserves at the present time.
Well, and we do have several options now that we could say, that the first half of the year, Dungannon would be getting half of the donation, waiting to see if something would happen, and then Perdix would get the other half, and that's all they would get for this year is half of that. Or, like Mr. Holman said, that either we cash in a CD or we raise taxes.
That's where you're headed for. At the end of the year, you need at least $75,000 in our general fund to carry over into the next year to pay your bills, at a minimum, And that's without getting into your CDs. And we've been doing and growing a little bit on that. We've been growing in those amounts at the end of the year compared to where we were, until you get your new tax revenue. And when your new tax revenue comes in, it gives you a break, by golly, for revenue comes in on a regular basis from our taxing bodies or from our tax collector. But if you're going to appropriate that and gonna take that out, you're not going to have that cushion, that $75,000 or $80,000 out, like I'm saying, if it's equal. If you're gonna spend another 20 above and beyond for a computer system, that's on top of that. And any other increase that you're gonna take upon all these above and beyond, you could pay for the computer system and take the line item out for the building repair out here, and there's no building repair, and you went backwards. And so, it's, however you take a look at it, that's the balancing act that's within your budget every year. And we've been gaining on it, not losing on it.
Yeah.
On those numbers. We've been able to do that and take some, or maybe at the end of the year, you don't put any money in your capital reserve. But we've been able at the end of the year, see enough money excess to see through our bills, to our new insurances and everything standing, it comes at the beginning of the year, and still a couple bucks in our capital reserve, by golly, to take care of other needed things, which coming at us here with this building and everything else, and you need to have it there. I will say the capital reserve money that was put in there, the capital reserve money come in here was when Mr. Green quit. We took his $70,000, his wages for 4 years. And I stashed it and put it in there. We wouldn't have a capital reserve today if it wouldn't have been for that. And that's done us well. There's not as much in there now as there was then because we spent some of it out there for different projects. But we, like I said, at the end of the year, we have gained on that. That's what we've done. We're gaining a little bit on that every year. Our revenues were up last year. We gained on it considerably from a couple of years before that when things were down. When we went through 2008 on through, we really scratched by golly to make those ends meet, and we tightened our belts all the way around. So there was an awful lot of our engineering's not. I'm going to go into this. Our engineering is not nothing. Our legal fees are really down. Our engineering compared when it came in here in 2004 was $18,000 a month.
Yeah.
Now we hardly have a need for the engineer to come. He calls, there's nothing there, I don't need to be here. But we took that away. We don't no longer use an engineer to design to have a culvert put in. We no longer use an engineer that charges us $7,000, $8,000 to do a road contract. And so there's been a tremendous amount of and we've never had a $125,000 cost overrun on a road project since we got rid of the engineers doing that. We did the first year I came here in 2004, $125,000. And the only excuse the engineer could give me was the price of oil must have went up. And then it took a hard look at where things are at. You go back and look at our other records, and you can go back and they're over there. And I've sat over there with Helen. Take a look at what we were spending in all these categories before 2004. And see, they maintained there for a little bit. They started dropping fuel, electricity out there in the building, heating in the garage. Overtime, by golly, is no longer $15,000 a year like it was. All those things we've been gaining on that, and to put more back in the general fund. But if they want to include that, then be realistic about it. What I'm saying. Tell the people what you're going to do. If this is what you want to do, him, and you got an idea, say, look, this is what we need the money for. Don't blindside the public out here, please. I stayed away from that, and we were able to manage, but there were some tremendous cuts out here.
When you had two companies running,
Huh?
when they had the two companies running,
Yeah.
how were donations handled then?
At that time, it was what one got, the other one got. Okay, that's how it was. Okay. And that was always a big argument, by golly, among the fire companies, that one didn't cover as much territory as the other did, and vice versa. I'm not going to get into that, and you'll get back into that again, I'm sure. But I'm not going to be involved with it. I didn't like it before, and I haven't heard it lately, but I can see it's coming back. That's my honest opinion. So,
Well, you're talking expenses, what is for the police department and Cobra? I guess, Cobra, Obamacare, do we cover insurance for part-time officers right now?
No.
But are we, I don't see that in the budget, are we going to?
We don't intend to.
No, we don't have to. I don't have any part-timers that work for me out in the road crew that get that.
What it is right now, it's anything over, consistently over 30 hours falls under Obamacare, anything under 30, consistently under 30 hours. Now, the definition of consistent, I would have to look to see what the Obamacare
You
says.
don't have to look, the government already is gonna tell you about it, I just went through this.
Yeah, but I don't know what consistent is.
It also
Is
depends
is
on how many employees you have.
Yeah, and it's based on the
That's-
employees
Yeah,
Yes,
also.
yeah.
and we're under that 50
We're
employee.
under that.
Even with the turnover with police department, do we end up?
We still end up
we're
under
still under
50.
50 for the year?
Yes.
Still under that, Stanley.
Okay. So that's, I mean, it's a hell of a mess, I've been going through it here
Oh,
for
yeah.
a couple of months. and-
We've been under that curtain and able to stay there.
Well, we could be looking at major changes next year because I believe next year, according to the insurance companies, we're going to be forced to enter Obamacare next year.
That I can't tell you, because I'm in it, so I don't have
Yeah.
a choice.
Yeah.
I mean, just the bookkeeping aspect is,
Yeah.
you think you have problems now, thank God you're not in it, I'm just
No,
ready
they
to go with that, so, okay.
I'm not sure we're gonna be able to sell it, like he says, though. I watch it
Yeah, I'm
pretty
not sure
close.
it's gonna happen next year, Brian, we're just going
Yeah.
Well,
through.
they're-
I believe according to our insurance company that was just here
Yeah,
several
Glenda.
months ago, she said that we're going to be forced to enter Obamacare next year in 2016.
Yeah, I think she said that.
Yeah.
I think she said that.
I think we're going to be looking at that, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
So,
Unfortunately, we don't have a choice.
I mean, you'll-
That we were told we did.
Wow, it'll be interesting to see then.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be a big chunk out of your budget.
It's gonna be a
Yep.
big chunk, I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, just to maintain the records and the fines are unreal.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, that's a good thing.
Anything else before we move on?
Nothing. Jim? Nope.
Okay. Anybody else have anything to offer on the line items that are proposed?
Mason or General?
Just one thing here.
Under which one?
I would like to make one comment. If you take a look at the past down here, so everybody knows, vehicle repairs and maintenance, okay? If you take a look at last year, we budgeted 2,400 for 2015, and you can see at 2015 now, we're 4,266, okay? When I arrived here, the Ford truck out here, the Ford 8000 that they had down there, had a low gear in it that when it held back, it would jump out. Now, that's a real grandma low gear, but you use that pulling out when you're loaded with skid and whatnot. And so that it was safe, I was the only one that used that truck. I learned to use it. I got along by with it well. But I fixed that transmission in that, and that was at additional cost before it's passed on to somebody else so that the equipment is in good shape. So that line item there, I did was questioned as to where it came from, what cost that was for that transmission work that we had done, put it in there to put that truck in really serviceable shape, Stanley. So if anybody takes a look at that, that's what it was. There was nothing busted up, it was just maintenance, something needed done.
What number was that?
437.
Yeah,
Point 370.
yeah.
Point 37.
That was an overage there that we got out of line with that. 1 year on that 30,000 you carry for road repair, I spent that plus. Due to the weather and the rain and whatnot this year, we didn't get to it, but we're burning it right now since we got the roads paid. That's repairing roads out here, culverts and labor, and everything else is bought into that. The work that was done down there at Cece's Drain's now done and complete. That all comes out of that. So I just want to explain some of those items, why that number's there. The potential's there to use them. Weather has a lot to do with it, believe me. We spent more on salt and anti-skid last year than any year that I've been here. And if you keep getting that snow and the ice, nothing to plow, brother, that's the only thing you can do with it, if you want to keep the roads open. Got to get out there and get on it. So some of those things, there were some overages there, and snow and ice supplies, if you take a look at that, that was it. We're in good shape. Our bins are full out here. We got salt in out here, and more salt to buy according to our contract. So that part of it on the road out there, some people wonder, I was questioned on highway supplies, you know, how you put $2,000 in it, but if you go back in 2012, I bought an awful lot of things for the guys out here that they needed. Earplugs, safety equipment, clothes to wear, stuff that the tar pants for them, and those things out there that they didn't have, and they should have. So we bought it, stockpiled it. Now we buy very little of that because we're still using that. So that will show you that's just some of the differences that take place with those out there. The garage heating oil out there, $541 for 2012. Got to go back and take a look at some of the old heating bills. They left it run,
$2,000,
huh?
$2,000, $3,000.
$2,000, by golly, you know, or more. Just left the heater run, nobody turned it back. Electric bills in the garage out there were astronomical, were they not, Helen?
Yep.
Astronomical. And so there's been some major changes out there. And I will be giving a full report on projects not to be done, just so you guys know for the budget, what's left to be done, what I've got projected, what I got in the budget for the road for this year, that's already in there. If they carry through with it, well, there's a continuity on paving the roads and all, but some of those things depend on how the money's spent, where they come in. You spend more one year patching, paving a road, and back off a little bit and do something the following year until you accumulate another 100-some thousand to bring your thing back up there, to bring your money back up. But we're pretty good on liquid fuels right now, and getting the road done. So some of those you'll see line items in there for. That we add additional ones for fuel, gasoline. I'm going to explain some of this. Small engines for in the weed whackers, for the tamper out there, for the tar buggy and whatnot. We separated that gas out because that gas out there for the small engines, so that it doesn't get confused, or gas bought for in the vehicles, for in the gas trucks that we have out there, which we have 2 of them now. That gas is put into the tank, or the gas tank out there for the emergency generator. Before they put it in there and left it set and it becomes stale and gummy, you have to tear the gas tank out, build another one, put in it. Today we fill that 25-gallon tank full and we draw out of that when we need fuel for in our small engines and whatnot. And when that gets down halfway, we buy fuel and fill that up. So there's always fresh fuel in that generator out there. So someone had to follow through with those policies or to do that, and I hope they do, because it's a method to keep fresh fuel and everything out there and separated line on it. And if they need it, it's ready to go in an emergency. It's sitting out there, it starts, the charger's on it, and et cetera. So some of those things are some of the changes. There's complete maintenance records out there for all the vehicles and whatnot, which there never was before. And we've got, I think, everything in pretty good shape for everybody out there for a decent turnover and a new truck coming. So they will have to take a look at and budget. They should, next one should be the old Ford 8000, very serviceable. It's a workhorse in the wintertime, and then being ultra conservative. Since there are 6-month inspection of those trucks that don't run in the summer, I don't get them inspected until the fall. get us through the winter. It saves some bucks on inspection. Although all the maintenance, all the repairs, all the brake lines, all the hydrovats, all that stuff out there has been done in-house instead of taking it out for $65 or $75. Now the transmission job is bigger than what our capacity to do. But all that maintenance has been done out there, all the welding and stuff has been done out here. So we've cut tremendously out there to make this thing work. And there's nothing out there that I don't think that is out of line in any of that, although some people do take a look at it and question why the numbers are different from year to year. They do fluctuate. So that's all I can offer on that out there. I would like to see the lean-to put out there in the end for the over the fuel tank out there. That one was only out of that garage improvements out there was only about $2,500 for that. Foundation's there, everything's there, just needs a pressure treated post up, and the trusses were even designed out of truss tech up there to get done. You just can't buy the stuff and see a period of time you're going to do it. You can't buy it and let it set like the roof has there. Hope to get on that or have that partially done, Stan. That's some of those items that people look at, they wonder why they're there. Yes,
Linton Hill looks good.
thank you.
Do you have plans to fill some of them shoulders?
Yes, sir. I was talking to the liquid fuels man today. He was very, very happy with that.
Some pretty nasty drop-offs.
Yeah, and we got guardrail to go up out here on some of those bad places down there. We built retaining walls down there to hold the bank where they kept falling down over. Changed the contour of the road so the water don't slope down over the steep bank and eat the bank away. We turned it to the inside to get it down there. We spent a good bit of time, a lot of modified out there to bring that up and have it rolled in. Hopefully that we give a good long serviceable road. The other thing I'll add, if you take a look at that road out there, how it's bid and what was supposed to be on it, 2 inches on the first and then 2 on the dirt on top of that for 4 and 2 inches over the old pave. The quantities are bid out like that, you make sure that they're on the plus side. And because they get paid for the ton, you can bet that you're going to get a better road because they know how much it takes. They walk it out every truckload, you get a thicker road. We have places out there, instead of having 4 inches, we got 6, 8, leveled it out, turned it to the inside. There's places out there, there's probably 9 or 10 inches out of where it was needed. And that's, it's not a large amount. And out of the whole bid, he was really happy. We had a half a truckload short out of that bid when we finished first. So we were 13 and a half tons over. The placement of that is $1,036 overage on that bid for that road. That's what our overage was. And so I don't have any problem with that. It's not $125,000. I hope everybody was happy. Everybody out there that was out there at the road job, that was the best place that I ever worked as far as being happy that something was getting done, that they were getting the road, and no one caused us any grief when shut down or anything out there. That was hard to believe. Huh?
They ought to be happy.
They should be happy with that, Stanley.
Up on the upper end of Bar Road there, there's been some good-sized branches laying on the roadway pretty much all summer. Want me to go up and push them off, or can your guys come and pick them up, or?
Well, we can get out there, pick them up, plus among, it's not that, I would say that we don't know some of that's there. I jumped immediately off of that to, instead of a 2-day job, almost a 2-week job down Cece's. And,
Well, this is nature
yeah.
pretty much all summer.
and, okay,
I just wondered whether you want me to push it off the road for you, or if you guys will be going around.
we'll be around there trying to gather up all these incidentals here towards the end of the year. We got some other ones to do that have been pushed off all summer. I got a bad one back in the cove before you go up to Barnett Drive where the culvert pipe's too short. We're going to have to extend it so you can even fill it in just to keep the bank from broke. Like, I used to take a 20-foot road, put 20-foot culvert in
I thought,
it. It don't work.
I thought maybe the last time when they came out weed whacking, they would've picked that stuff up, but they just sorta went around it and left it lay. So I just thought I'd bring it up.
But I'll mention it to them.
Yeah.
And incidentally, the sight distances on out here at faculty, we took a look at that, and I just didn't see where it was at. One of those trees is down in the Kingston's yard off of the right of way, I think that the lady's talking about, you know, so. I do have some of those things that we're trying to get done. I want to start the road prep on Linton Hill, starting to clean the gutters out so we get as much of that done for that. If they want to continue on that road, there's a couple places out there where they put their culvert in. We've cleaned it out, tend to it to keep the water, but it is way too small. It's within the township right away, although the homeowner, probably 30 years ago, put it in there. I think it was Mr. Snyder himself put that
You mean Faculty
culvert
Road?
in there, huh?
You mean Faculty Road?
Faculty Road, yeah, faculty. So we're trying to start to get some of that stuff done. I have plans, designs out there to dig the bank away. The road crew's aware of it. Put a bollard in there, stabilize it, put it in there so that the bank can't come down and fill the culvert full. It's the only thing you can do when you get something like that is put a retaining wall of some kind in. Just like the gentleman out there spent some time on doing that out on Linton Hill. But there was no way, that was constantly, they just dumped stuff in it, and next rainstorm washed it away. That was what was done in the past. I said before we do that, we're putting a retaining wall. Liquid Fuels man was happy with it, everybody was happy with what we did out there. Corrected a lot of water going down through people's yard and in their house. So, that being said, I'm still looking forward to giving a good report so that everybody knows what's left and what's left to do. There's some out there that are some pretty serious things I think that should be taken care of. We'll see how we make out with that. Anybody else have anything to ask or offer on the highway budget? Okay, hearing none. Any other questions throughout the budget?
Liquid Fuels, Capital Reserve, Park and Rec?
That one shows 20,000 there at the end of the year for capital reserve. That's one of those things that we've been able each year to do that. I'm not saying that money's going to be there this year, that you have the ability to do that.
I've already put over 28,000.
Huh?
I
know.
put 28,000 over already this year.
So that's what we try to do. There is some roads, if you would go out here and take a look within the township, that are dead end, high maintenance, one or two in. I wish you could give them back to the Indians because they are expensive to the township, but we get very little bit of money, let me tell you. And they are hard to take care of because of it, but they still also need to be maintained. I see here how we have township roof each year until needed.
Until needed.
I'd like to report on that roof up there. We've maintained it. We've washed the seams out with gasoline, resealed them, recovered them. There's a lot of life left in this roof up here with a small amount of maintenance. The uncured rubber that you use for around the flashings, around the stuff out there is readily available. And the sealant and whatnot on it leaked up here bad, didn't it help?
Oh, yeah.
And we went up, took a look at it. We spent a lot of time, well, not too much, it was like fall 2 years ago. Now
Yeah.
that take care of that, except for the one that opened up here in the unit.
Yeah.
When sealed that one up, we haven't had no problem. A lot of years to the roof. Roof's in fairly good shape. with the exception of maintaining the seams. The rubber seams open up. You lift them up, you wash them out with gasoline, put the new sealer in them, gasoline or naphtha or whatever you want, let it evaporate, you reseal the seam and reseal it with the roof sealer just like it was new. That's the only thing that happened to the rubber roof up there. And we done extensive work on that in around the scuppers up there and whatnot. They had a couple of those up there that we fixed and repaired. We haven't had no problem with them. So the township ought to get some years out of that roof up here yet.
How old is the rubber?
My golly, that was done before I got out of office.
So it's been late 80s.
Yeah, late 80s, yeah. Yeah, roof's in good shape, believe it or not.
It'll start going on you.
Now,
Have you had any birds pecking holes in it?
no, he would have to be a big fellow to peck through that rubber.
I did that for about 30 years down to college, and there were a lot of birds that actually picked a hole down through the rubber.
So we don't have any of that. The scuppers need a little maintenance with the flashing, because in it, the uncured rubber that you use, it'll stretch and conform, is not the same as a roof rubber. It's like a flashing material. That you'll see every now and then will, over a period of time, about half-life of the roof, but they're all fixed and all repaired. And there's one scupper out here that the kids done damage to, which we hope to get that put back together out there on the backside. The scupper coming down off the roof out there where it's broken apart, you know where it is, but it's right outside the office. That needs to put a ladder up there and get it put back together.
Well, if it ever does need to be replaced, the thing to use would be a TPO that they heat weld the seams. Holds up a lot better than rubber. If the roof itself ever needs to be repaired, that's the way to go these days.
So you should be able to get a lot of years out of that up there. I'd say there's another 10 years in that roof for some reason or other. Rubber that's put on really must have been top notch, because there's no cracks. It's not coming apart anywhere but on the seams.
I missed hearing the highway budget. Did you plan anything in case they decide they needed to replace you?
No, I didn't put anything in there different than the wages it's been here, and I based that on the basis that there's never been any more than 2 full-time employees in the township out here ever, and part-timers. And so I left that part of the budget there, and that's all we've ever had.
If, you know, if we have to hire a manager, where's that money gonna come from?
That's gonna come, you're either gonna sit down and decide to raise taxes if you're gonna put an additional person on, or you're gonna get into your CDs again. You can put that additional labor and you can spend all this money, and I can tell you where it's gonna come from. That's where it's gonna come from. At the end of the year, it won't be there, will it, Hal? No. I know what I'm talking about. Yes.
It's going to the municipal meetings is with Ed and Sam leaving. The 2 gentlemen that come there that were gonna come in and pick up the work for Ed, laid out sounds like a manager position. That it sounds like it's gonna be a considerable more money to run the, what Sam and Ed had done in the past with these people coming in. Is that the one instance was that they're using Ed's testing equipment. These people maintain that when they come in, that their testing equipment can't be tied up for the 24-hour test that we've done, that they are suggesting that the municipal buy the equipment and all. And just sitting there in that meeting, I left early, I didn't get the whole meeting, but sitting in that meeting, it sounds like the expenses will go up considerably for those people. Then come back to the ratepayers.
You're preaching to the choir. I've been saying for a long time, when Ed Chisholm and Sam gives it up over here, you're gonna find out what's gonna cost to run that.
Oh my, yes, yeah, that's what,
And it's not so bad at the present time where they're at, because they're relatively healthy compared to where they were in 2004 where they had nothing, we were working on borrowed money. So there's a break-even point there. Let's hope that they don't go nuts with the engineering where I saw $100,000 spent a year by golly and got not for hundreds of thousands of dollars spent on legal fees and whatnot just for a meter pit up at the other end of the borough that only cost $50,000 to install. $200-some thousand was wasted fighting over that.
And this is what he's saying,
And-
is like on a 24-hour test, and he's talking 3 people.
Yeah,
You know.
and so the truth's gonna come out about that matter, what it's gonna cost. The big thing is, hope that you can maintain the present sewer rates at the present time with it, without seeing an increase coming in for it to pay for that. I think that they can do that, or maybe they can't. That'll remain to be seen.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see where that all ends up.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that they for a long time, it took a lot of the engineering out of it, rolled that back, got it straightened out, and let's hope that they can keep that status quo going. They got Ed and Sam's been very dedicated employees, by golly, available around the clock.
Right.
And there was many a time that they asked the highway department for a backhoe to do some digging for them. I give them a hand, borrow a generator, whatnot. All that equipment's been available for them. Repaired some lines for them up there when they couldn't get these other people out for them late at night with the water line broke. Somewhere along the line, that's all gonna go away. And
Now, these 2 men sitting there, they had one 32 years with Hampton, the other 14 years with Derry. And the conversation they were holding, they were speaking as though they're doing it, and they're pointing out, Ed and those 2 fellows were in agreement as to
Yeah.
what has to be done, and then they cautioned the board that it's gonna be a little more than just Ed and Sam doing it.
yeah, no doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
I worked at that construction all my life and know how it goes when you get into that point. And you can't get your local people to do it. The other people on the outside, they don't have no mercy for you.
Yeah.
I guarantee you they don't, not when it comes to putting $1 in their pocket. There's no show of mercy for you. So, that's a separate issue to this. Anything else in our budget? Any line
When do we
items?
vote on that?
Huh?
When do we vote on that?
We have to do it by December 31st, but you can do it earlier, and before they can vote, it has to be 20 days open for the public to review.
You need to bring this back at the next meeting, by golly, and authorize the advertisement for it to be open for the public.
If you're ready for that, yeah.
That's what you have to do. And get it out there for those amount of days. You have to have it. If the new board sees fit that they need to raise taxes, they need to do that to notify the county by December the 1st.
Yes, that's when they want to know.
But
So they
take a
can
look
clear up
at
the
what,
bills.
where you're gonna spend and what you're gonna spend.
Well, is there gonna be discussion between the 3 of you on like a roadmaster? Because you don't figure it in now, or try to come up with something, and the new year rolls around. Then-
It's nothing for me to be in that discussion. I prepared the budget as I see it now that I know it to be effective. 2 full-time employees out there with the part-timers. That's all we've ever had. That's all this township's ever had.
But we were fortunate to have you.
But, no, no, before I was here. Never any more than that.
Okay.
Never any more than that.
I'm just wondering where.
Never any more than 2 full-time employees. Show me where they were.
Just Bob Green. And
Bob, well, at that
Yeah.
point there, he wasn't an employee, he was township manager.
Field operations manager, secretary.
Yeah, that's
all
what
of
it
that.
was. And he went out and plowed snow one time and wrecked the truck and tore people's car up and never done it after that.
No, he didn't.
No CDL license and smacked the truck up, did he not, Helen? That's why he didn't go out. That's the stuff that people don't realize, that what they're gonna put someone in these trucks out here, they need someone to take care. We got some of the nastiest roads around, let me tell you. So we got some nasty hills. CDL driving truck out there, you need one driver for that, has a CDL. The other ones come in at 26,000 that are free. They can go in underneath that. They don't require their medical, but I would say anybody that goes in the larger trucks definitely ought to have some CDL training or have some heavy equipment. Just don't stick them in and turn them loose. So that's all to be looked at. That's a decision made by the new board, not one that I can pass down to these people or dictate policy on. I'm not going to try to. I'm doing my part to make a good, clean turnover as effectively as what I can with everything that I could possibly deliver on that. I will tell the board, you're talking budget-wise, there is several things that they can take a look at and consider, that they need to take a hard look at, and they can decide that. But I would hope that before the end of the year, they give me an answer. The E3 oil tank out here that we utilize so well, that holds 800 gallons, and we fill our tar buggy up, we get 1,000 gallon at a time. Otherwise, we have no place for storage. That meets your requirements of a portable tank out there that we don't need permits for. Okay, I donated that tank out there. If this decide that they, for the use of the township, if they don't want it, and they're not going to use it, I wouldn't mind having the tank back because I've got a lot of money invested in it. But they're welcome to use it as long as they can, as long as they want. Now that's one of the items out there that they're welcome to use, but I would appreciate someone making a commitment before the end of the year. If we terminate it and don't use it, Henry, you get the tank back. I'd appreciate that rather than taking it and selling it. Because I take it down and remove it for a period of time so it meets the temporary requirements, and we put it back up. And that way you don't have, I had the DEP tank testing by golly for installation, manufacturing, dikes and everything when I worked for McClure Company, and I knew what we could do without having to pay high permits and a lot out here. It passes as a tank. Otherwise, you gotta, the only place you can go get your oil is to go over to Wilson's, go get a tar buggy at a time and make a trip during the daytime. That's a waste of day. The next day you can burn it out, and the next day you got to go for oil. And then you spend another day, so you get 2 days a week that you go out there and work on the road. The rest of the time you're running for oil. This way you call for 1,000 gallons at a time. The guys have it, we have it figured out there. When the last comes out of it, the tar buggy's full. We call for E3 oil and make sure that we run it out. And they get 1,000 gallons at a time most of the time. Do we not, Helen?
Yep.
We only got 400 this last time because we figured we're going to run out of weather in the budget. And that way you can take that out there, and we always leave about a half a tank in the tar buggy to set in the warm portion of the shed, so that if you have to go out, or early in the spring if you have some potholes, you can repair right away, because you can't get oil all the time early. So we leave enough of it in there, but you cannot leave it out in the tank and freeze. You'll never get it out. Can't leave a tank full there and freeze. It has to be emptied come the fall. The other tank that I donated out there, Randy left it half full and left it freeze, and then next year they couldn't get nothing out of it. And it just all gelled. You couldn't heat it, you couldn't do nothing with it, you couldn't get it out, so I built them another one. Lucky I had 2 of those 800-gallon tanks. So I gave them another one. But the butterfly valves and the ball valves out there are stainless and whatnot. They're, $500-600 valves. I'm not too reluctant to. I'm reluctant if they don't want to use that out there to have it go to the junkyard or whatnot. I'll take that home and fill it full of diesel fuel at home from the farm. So that's some of the things that they're welcome to use out there. I just think somebody needs to say what they want to do with it. That's all. They're welcome to use it.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah,
Just seen you look at Brian and say, you know, you all just have to tell me what you wanna do.
well, they'll,
Hold
yeah,
on, let me
yeah.
speak, please. Have you taken these two gentlemen on a tour? I mean, he's
Yes, sir,
relatively new.
I have.
Brian, how many years you've been on the board? I know you've been around for a while, but on the
when
board.
you go through the road,
So I mean, yeah, I mean, have you taken them a tour saying, hey, this is what's going on? This is what I do,
yes, sir.
you know, this is mine, this is yours.
Yep, and I've had them through the
Okay.
shed, explained to them everything that was out there. The Hilliard rig that's mine, the drill press that's mine out there that I had in and out there. I don't have my Hilliard rig and my argon out there anymore, but I do have a job to do for Helen and a couple chairs here, I promised, which I'll bring back up to do that. Everybody knows exactly out there, and you'll get a list out there. I do intend to take my stuff and remove it that I have out there. I have a lot of plywood out there for up overhead to replace the roof. I have OSHA-approved scaffold plank that are 18-foot long up overhead out of course the trusses, which I'm going to take with me. And everything that's out there, the two guys that are out there, there's miscellaneous angle and steel out there. The trailer that I gave them the I-beams and the grading and everything that we used to haul our roller around, we bought a roller, had no way to move it. So I built them a trailer out there for them that'll hold it. They're welcome to use that, but if they're gonna say we're not gonna use it anymore or whatnot, well, instead of somebody else making a buck off it, I'd like to see it come back to the original owner. You're welcome to
I just
use
wanna
it.
make sure that they got the.
Yeah, I had
grant
Brian
to-
and them through the building and showed them everything that was out there, and I think I mentioned a lot of that stuff out there, what I have. My transit's out there, when I shoot grade, I use it. We have one, but it's not a real sophisticated one like the one that I got. So those stuff like that, you know, I don't mind.
Well, and what I would suggest, because I don't know about you, I can't remember everything that's been told to me for detail. So what I would like is just to have a inventory list of things that you'd like to leave behind for their guys to use. That way we can determine whether or not, if we're not gonna use it, give it back to you. But I wouldn't know why we wouldn't use it if it's something we've already been using, you know? So, if there's just an inventory list of things that you're leaving behind that you would like back if we're not going to use them, then that way if they don't get used, then we know what you left behind that you're allowing us to continue to use.
The oil tank out there, that's some of the things I'll pass on to you. The oil tank out there that's out there needs to be just, it only takes a couple minutes. It's made, it's anchored up there. You take the eye bolts off, you pick it off of all the, what you call, you set it on the trailer, take it down to my farm for a month, bring it back up, put it up. It's portable. It's not considered stationary. It meets your requirements. But so that nobody can say that we don't do that, it gets done. I mean, but it's a big advantage by golly to have. That, you know, they can even purchase it if they want, Stanley. That's one of those things out there. You know. I got a couple other things out there. There's I'll tell everybody here right now, and then you know, I'm going to give you a full report on it. There's the expansion tank out there, has a small leak in the bladder out there that leaks the air out of it. The pump will be on and off, you know, if you don't have that. Got Tom and them familiar with it out there. They watch it every so many days, but short cycles, we run the air hose in there. But I intend to go buy one and replace that out there on the pump. So if somebody new comes in there, don't know that the pump will be on, off, at the show of the spigot, and you'll wear that deep well pump out real quick. So I was the one that picked up on it, and they didn't understand that, but they do now. So I'm going to put, that's going to be replaced. There'll be an expenditure for that before I get out of here. I don't know of anything else out there that's in any wear condition that cause anybody any grief or any trouble at the present time. I just don't know of anything. Everything's tried to be repaired as much as possible out there. I just wanted to give a full report on the road crew out there so everybody knows just exactly what those numbers are all about. sometimes you use a lot more out on them categories than you do on other times, so. Okay. Any further business on the budget?
Not for me.
Okay. Be back for the board for whether they wish to advertise it as such. That'll have to be done soon so you can get it passed and open to the public in time.
Yep, 20 days before
Right.
adoption,
Yeah.
so no later than November meeting.
And that cuts it right to the wire.
That's,
But we could
Yeah.
approve it at next meeting.
you can approve it
Yeah,
at next,
yeah,
at
for-
October meeting,
For
yes.
her to advertise it.
You
yeah.
can.
Can you make sure that's on the agenda?
Oh, definitely. It's gonna be on the
We
agenda.
can take a look at it for the next time. Let's see, we took a look at that in November, the budget.
Our meeting
township,
is
yeah,
the 18th.
Yeah. It'll have to go into December because our meeting's on the 18th. It's not time enough to advertise it to get it
No, I
out
don't
there for
believe
the
so
20
with
days
October.
for the November meeting. It'll have to go into December.
So you just have a budget meeting in
Yeah.
December, you could do
Yeah.
it beforehand, but
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
that's up to you guys.
Well, I make the motion, we adjourn.
I'll second. All those in favor, give their ayes. Aye.
Aye.